Hi guys, I'm James McIntosh and today I'm joined with Football Operations Manager Mark Summerhill, just catching up on all things Gosport really. And Mark, what better way to catch up than on Tuesday night when we drew 2-2 to Walston and Hersham. Despite being a goal and a player down at half time, I think we did pretty well in the second half, ruthless in that second half, Fanny and masterclass. And what were your thoughts after that great 2-2 draw?
Yeah, I think it was. It was a really testing night, wasn't it? I mean, Walton are right up there in the table. They've had a really good start. They've got some they're really good players. There's no doubt about that. They're well financed. So I think off the back of the run we've been on of multiple away games and testing FA Cup games and testing league games, to go to Walton and get something was a really, really good result. And then to go a goal down early. A slightly dubious red card, to say the least, and then to be not given a penalty for what was probably assault on Alfie Stanley inside the 18-yard box early on, let alone the penalty we weren't given in the second half when, AO was absolutely scythed down. And I'm careful what I say, but the levels of officiating all night were well beyond what you would expect at our level, which is really disappointing. When you consider all those factors, really, really tough night. And I think that did an exceptional job. I think Pat and Joe set up a really good game plan, which, in given all those circumstances, would have been easy for the lads not be able to execute. And I think the lads pulled off the game plan perfectly, and a really, really good point. I mean, you could be disappointed that, yes, we were 2-1 up going into the game late. But, I still think a point, and it sets us up beautifully for returning home after a long away slog on Saturday to turn us to a league game at home.
Well, I've got to be honest, Mark, you perfectly summed it up there, that game. Like I was saying, with the first half, when I saw the red card, I thought we were in for a little bit of a challenge. Being Walton and Hersham, they're a top side, definitely be one of the teams challenging for promotion. But one player that did stand out for me, like I mentioned in the last point, was Samuel Aofanian. Should have had a penalty, but even after that, he got a great goal. I mean, his assist in the left-hand channel, passing it into Cameron Murray. Great play. And I did have fears of Dan Wooden not playing. Maybe we would have lacked that real attacking threat. But Fanian came in and he excelled Tuesday, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Woody's always going to be a miss. There's no two ways about that. I mean, Woody does what Woody does. At Wildston, got one chance, took it, and we're 1-0 up. But yeah, I mean, going back to AO, AO is an incredibly talented player. He's come to us probably not fully fully over an injury, not fully fit, which is why he's had reduced game time. But we've been building that time up, and he's been showing in fits and starts, and in different performances. What we saw in AO when we played against him, when he tore us apart for Hayes and Yedin that day last season, and he's put in some good performances. But I think Tuesday night, he was by far. I mean, in a night where it's difficult to pick a standout performer from us, I think AO probably was. He was a constant threat. I don't think he wasted any of the ball. I think he retained the ball really well. He got at people. He beat people. He got his reward for what was he really had that bit between his teeth on Tuesday. And what was really interesting was I thought when we went down to 10 men, you would expect them to sort of try and stretch the game a little bit more, try and use the number to the advantage. And actually, they were so obsessed with stopping people on him, and that sort of helped even the numbers up really. It just shows how well he played and what good player he is, that even with a numerical advantage, they were still more worried about AO and worried about us than we were of them.
Well, definitely that. And like you were saying there, I think it was a fantastic result and great characteristics from the boy. But like I was just saying about the last point there involving Dan Wooden, obviously he got injured in that Wealdstone game. And can you give us any update on when we can expect him to return back to the squad?
I'm hopeful, pending the result of training tonight, that Woody may be available for selection on Saturday. It may be a tiny bit early, but there's a chance he'll be available. We've had him treated, we've had him looked at, and we'll see what he can get through tonight. But that could be a late decision. But what is pleasing is that it was only a very light strain rather than a tear, which is really good.
Well, yeah, that's brilliant news, and it'll be good to see Dan and Fanian link up. So hopefully we may be able to see that Saturday. But I remember last time, I think it was a month ago, we were talking about new signings coming in. And since we last chat, we have had 2 new players come in. One being Alex Barcer, who has re-enjoyed the club, and the other being Ryan Gosney. I'm not going to talk about Alex because I think every Gosport fan knows how good he was last season. But Ryan Gosney come in and he's been phenomenal and really nailed down that number 1 jersey.
Yeah, I mean, Goz has been exceptional. Goz has been someone we've been after for a really long time. And when you have the opportunity to take someone like Goz, you've got to jump at it. And that's obviously a long-term loan from Salisbury. There's too many good Goz moments already to talk about them all. But, I mean, I think the standout for me was the double save at Oxford, which kept us in the game. That was phenomenal. And I think what you see from Goz is pretty much what you get. He's a big dominating character. He comes out and claims crosses incredibly well under pressure. He's off his line really quick, as he was at Walton on Tuesday night. He makes incredible saves. Yeah, he really is an all-round package, and we're so pleased to have him. And he is proving worth his weight in gold with some of the saves and performances we've seen from him so far. I don't want to jinx that ahead of Saturday, but Goz has been a fantastic addition, absolutely a top addition.
Well, those 2 players, they've already made a, like I was just saying there, a landmark change in the squad. And one player I did want to talk about who was heavily linked with the club was the former Gosport player, Rafa Ramos. Obviously, he joined Paul Town, but I'd heard a lot of players saying we were linked with him at the time. And were there any links with Rafa? And obviously, like I was saying there, Dan's injured. And I do feel like there's a little bit of a striker crisis involved in the squad. So we got Alfie Stanley and Dan Wooden. But other than those 2, we don't really seem to have that out-and-out number 9. We have Fanian, who obviously comes off the bench and obviously plays in that attacking position. But I would class him more as a winger. So would you say we're maybe in the market looking for another number 9 just to maybe come on the bench and try and replace one of those 2 if need be?
I think, I think we're looking for reinforcements. Although we are, like I've said many times before, trying to manage the club responsibly, and by in managing the club responsibly, you have to manage finances responsibly. But it's a conversation we absolutely need to have about bringing people in, because the squad is stretched at the moment. I think we've got good options up front with Woody, with Alfie, with Alex, with AO, with 1 or 2 others that can play up there. We've played Ash in the 10 recently as well. We've got other other forward-thinking players. But going back to the Rafa thing, obviously Rafa was our player at the end of last season, and Rafa was clearly, didn't want to come back. I saw a lot of stuff on social media about Rafa potentially coming back, but was there any conversations between us? No. The minute we found out about Rafa, he'd already agreed to go to Paul. So there was no talk between us and Rafa.
Well, I've got to be honest, I don't think it's really been a problem with goals at this moment in time. Because like I was saying there, the Gloucester game, last time we were speaking, we were talking about Gloucester, whether we believed that we could beat Gloucester. You said you were very confident, and it ended up coming into fruition that we did end up beating Gloucester. I think a more surprising result was definitely that Oxford game. It was obviously a free hit, but beating Oxford must have been monumental, and getting drawn to Wealdstone as well. Another great game. And once again, the boys really played until that final whistle. And I would say it's a real FA Cup journey that we will be looking on in a few years' time down the line, saying what a great journey that was.
Yeah, I mean, the Gloucester replay was an incredible performance. Again, another midweek, another long trip to Gloucester. Lads taking lots of time off work to travel. We got stuck in traffic. We arrived late. It was, a late kickoff. And again, we've gone there, scored early, and then absolutely executed the game plan and defended so well at Gloucester, and occupied them as well. We looked like we had a real threat at Gloucester, and we looked like we defended resiliently. Some really top performances. I've obviously played a lot of games now since then, but Rory and another standout performance, and 1 or 2 others from our experienced lads down Wooden, a tired Dan Wooden. We get a lot out of those experienced lads in the big moments. I mean, that took a lot out of the lads, that replay at Gloucester. We then had the incredibly long trip to Merthyr to get through, which we put in a really good league performance at Merthyr. But, back to the FA Cup, we were then, at Oxford, and to come from behind like we did at Oxford and score those goals so quickly. And then again, we talked about Goz's double save, and the likes of Finn Walsh-Smith and one or two others defended, Joe Morrison. They've been top performers who've defended really well at times. Our defensive shape has been good. We've defended really well whilst trying to maintain a threat. Unfortunately, when we went to Wildston, we probably came up a little bit short. We probably might have not set up quite right, but obviously within 10 minutes when it was a game, so we changed that quite quickly, which is no surprise. We then got into the game. We actually took a 1-0 lead. Probably a little bit disappointed with the goal, the way it's come back off the post, and they've probably put it in unopposed. And then probably like a lot of games, really, it's hinged on the red card, really, when Joe's been sent off. Probably the game from that point just peters out, and probably a game too far against a National League side, but are in a hybrid model, in 3 days a week. They're going to be fitter, they're going to be sharper, they're going to be stronger than us, but are in 2 nights, and they picked us off really with a mistake or two, with some tired legs against a good, strong, fit Wildston side who have not had the best of starts in the National League, and that would be as much as it was an incredibly important game for us, was incredibly important for them as well. And it just shows the resources these sides had. Wilston had taken a guy from a Football League side on loan, not just a guy from the youth team at a Football League side, taking him out of Football League side. The guy's come in and scored a hat-trick. So, that just shows the resources we're up against.
Well, definitely. And I don't think it's anything, well, like I was saying, it's something we should think of it as a proud moment of the team. Getting to that stage is just a landmark in itself. And I would imagine another competition that we will want to head as far as possible in is the FA Trophy. So we beat Paul on penalties, and it's another chance to have another good cup run and hopefully draw some bigger teams, maybe in the National League, maybe get Wealdstone again and get some revenge.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather not go back to Wildston, being honest. But the FA Trophy could potentially throw up a day out at Wembley. That's something you can't sniff at the chance at, and also would bring good finances into the club if we could progress in the trophy. I think we feel now we're out the FA Cup. That's one door that's closed, and the league is obviously going to be our absolute priority now. Who we've got in the trophy. I see they went out of the FA Cup this week, another team that's got to the 4th qualifying round, and it's taken a replay from a team to knock them out. So Taunton are going to be no mugs, and knowing the manager down there, Rich Luffman, he will have those guys up for that game when the trophy game. So that is certainly going to be no easy game. But we'll look to progress in the trophy. I think we can feel really proud. The whole club, supporters, staff, management group, we can all feel really proud of what we achieved in the FA Cup this year. Some really good moments. Come back against Gloucester replay, Wildston, Oxford, and the fans have been absolutely incredible. And I can't help but feel really with achieving the playoffs last year, and with achieving the sort of 4th qualifying round this year, and being so close to first round proper. We're giving the club something to really grab hold of, and some memories to really grab hold of. And I'm really personally pleased for supporters who support us home and away. Those guys that come on the coach, guys and girls that come on the coach, minibuses, to get to our away games and outnumber home fans with their decibels is, when the players stand at the end of the game clapping the fans, whether it be Oxford, Gloucester or Wildston, that really is meant. And hopefully we've given them a little bit back for what they put into the club, because there's lots of cliches, but football without fans is certainly something no one enjoys. So really, really pleased for them.
Well, you said about how good the fans are, and you really reiterated a lot of my points that I was about to say. Because for every away game, I always pretty much do the same post. It is like being at a home game because the fans are so great and they really do act as a 12th man. But we haven't been at home for a while, and I bet you're looking forward to getting back to the AEI Stadium in front of a large portion of fans, and it should be a good day on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely looking forward to coming home. It's been keep moaning about like a broken record, really, but it's been a long slog. We're lucky to have coaches provided for our long trips, which is very much appreciated. It does make them a lot easier. And though, when guys are working all day and have full-time jobs to then do some of the travelling we do on top of that, it takes it out of us. So we're really looking forward to coming home. We're not going to underestimate the task that Swindon are, because they're on the back of 2 straight wins. They've had a very mixed start. I've just been writing my programme notes. They've scored 5 in one of the games. I think it was Poole, and conceded 5 against Merthyr. So they might bring some goals with them. We might see some goals by the look of that. But we need to really knuckle down now. We have to do that, and I'm a big advocate of this. That if you get a point away from home, like we got in midweek, if you can follow that up with 3 points at home, that point becomes a really, really good point. So we will certainly be, to be setting up to give the fans something to cheer again, reward the fans that that are at home that haven't been able to travel away and see us, and we'll certainly be trying to win the game on Saturday. There'll be no doubts about that.
Well, it should be a tasty clash, and I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to getting back to the AI Stadium this Saturday. So make sure to come along, get your tickets and everything. And Mark, I do want to final on one last point, because I have seen on Instagram and Twitter that you have recently signed for the 1944 club. And could you just explain to all the people watching what the club is about, how it helps the team overall, so players and everyone involved with the club really, and what perks you can get for joining the club, because it's brilliant organisation really.
Yeah, I think there's 2 really big groups to call out. There's a supporters club that we've engaged with for a little while, and there's the newly formed 1944 club, which is a chance for people. I think it's £20 a month, and people towards the running of a club. So it's helped fund some of our coaches for a away trip, which is an incredible thing for fans to do, and it's helped to fund some training equipment. We other than the money the club generates through revenue, through our fans, through our support, we're sort of propped up and funded by one person. And we need to give that person some support. So the 1944 club, the scheme where fans can actually set up a direct debit, and I'm pretty sure it's £20 a month. I hope I haven't got that wrong. And the chance for them to win some money whilst actually help funding the first team. That's one of the big things about it. It goes towards funding the first team, like I said, whether it be coaches or training equipment, which is a couple of the examples that they've helped us with so far. That's a fantastic initiative. Myself and Craig, the secretary, went and joined one of their meetings to just go and see what it's all about, really. And I felt so moved by the people on the committee there, and their love for the club and what they're doing, and the hard work they're doing to organise different sort of revenue streams for the club, and like trying to sell corporate packages and mascots and bits and pieces, and doing all that sort of stuff. But I felt it was only right to join, really, and do my little bit. I know Joe Lee's also going to do the same. Because we appreciate it that much, what people are doing for us, but we feel it's only right to sort of give a little bit back ourselves. And that's certainly why we've joined the 1944 club, and certainly why we'll be supporting the supporters group whenever we can as well. Hopefully we'll get a managers event on fairly soon, where people can come in and ask Pat and Joe and themselves some questions about what's going on, do some face-to-face time, give a little bit back, because we are incredibly supportive of both those groups of people.
Well, sounds great, Mark. And hopefully you might have just got a few more people to join the club. And if you are interested, go and see all the people linked with it. You can ask Mark about it, I'm sure, here, and show you how to do everything. And there will be links in the comments. So if you do want to join, make sure you get involved. And Mark, I'm looking forward to Saturday. So I'll see you then, and I'll see all you guys that Saturday. But as usual, can we get the final words? Up the borough.
Up the borough.
And final words from me, up the borough.